And we are live. What? Yeah. I'm gonna get to that. Well, hello. I'm gonna say hello to Councilmember Sullivan, Councilmember Kathy, Councilmember Jefferson, and then welcome everyone to council chambers and virtually to Tuesday, July 14th. You are at a work session. It is 6 p.m. We are calling the meeting to order. I just did roll call virtually, and we have Councilmember Whedon, Councilmember Roland Holt, Councilmember Agabi, Councilmember Swarthout is excused, and we also have Melly and Matt and Karen and Kelly and Paul and myself serving as mayor here today. Item number 3, everyone's favorite, council rules.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, council members and Mayor Pro Tem. So Karen and I are here tonight to serve as your tour guides through recommended updates to the council rules of procedure. So for the benefit of anyone watching, the council rules establish the procedures and norms for council meetings, council activities, and the interpersonal relationships between council members and council members and staff. And so these rules were first adopted in 2012 and have been amended regularly since then, the most recent amendment happening in 2023. So this attached version that's in your packet for those following along online, for those in person, I have printed copies here because I want to be a good tour guide. So there's 2 types of changes, 2 characters of changes. The first is clerical. So these are grammatical changes, technical updates to section numbering, making sure that we're being consistent with city terms and capitalization. So we're not going to review those clerical updates. Those are peppered throughout the document, and we've been really good to highlight those in the red line. The second are more policy changes, and they're not really that substantive of changes, but those are the ones that we'll walk through right now. So walking through together, and then after we walk through, we can open the floor to talk about some other changes and areas that you're curious about. So the first one is on page 3, it's page 5 of the PDF. And so this is regarding section 2.6, which is the minutes. And this clarifies that we have moved to action minutes, which are minutes that are different from the more verbose minutes that we had before. So that clarifies action minutes and the process for those minutes. On the next page, we have in section 4.5, in special items, we have moved from 2 scheduled special items to striving towards 3 scheduled special items. This is a riveting tour. I'm so glad you're on this with me. The next substantive change is section 4.11. And so here we've just moved some things around for readability and to remove a 5-minute constraint that was here on council reports. So we've taken council committee reports, moved it down into its own section, which is 4.11, and just made some clarity there on reporting during meetings.
We've combined council committee reports and council reports together, which is actually what you've been doing recently.
Yes.
Yes, and good note, fellow tour guide, that the policy changes are to align this document with what you actually do. All right, and so we have a potential conflict here in section 4.11C, where we mention charitable charities, where we mention charities. So in an upcoming topic that you have, we may be coming back to revisit this. We have Animal Services, Friends of the Library, and Park Foundation listed as examples. We may need to come back and revisit that.
Or do you just want to take anything out that's by name? Okay, leave the rest, but take out, okay.
What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Everyone okay with that? We just take out the specifics? I'm not seeing any facial expressions. Megan, on your head. Yes, thank you.
We'll show it in the next red line.
And then we have in section 4.11D, we have removed the limit on Q&A minutes. It was currently 2 minutes. previously. And then we have just some language here about additional and future items added to 4.12. Did you want to speak to that at all, Karen?
That was a request and a conversation that the council had earlier this year about changing that title to include future items as well. So we captured that in writing.
There's lots of small clerical changes in section 5, but now we're going to fast forward to the next stop on the tour, which occurs in section 21.4, and the change occurs on page 20 of the council packet. And so this is 21.4B, A and B. So in A,
Hold on.
we have, yes, ma'am.
21.4B.
21
Okay, got it.
for A and
All right, I found it.
Thank you, Angela.
Mm-hmm.
So to make us more efficient and effective at putting together council agendas, we have moved up the deadline from Wednesday to Tuesday for committee agendas. And then under minutes, we have broadened the staff who can support with minutes. So it's not just the city clerk's office.
That makes sense to
Mhm.
council?
All right, the next leap is to the next page for section 23.1. And this is likely the most substantive policy-ish change, is we're trying to evergreen this so that you don't have to update this every year. So what we've done is we've removed amounts regarding travel and training benefits. You determine a lot of these amounts when you have budget conversations. And it doesn't remove any of the actual process, just removes that $500 amount. And then in the next section, we're removing that $1,000 line item amount. We've also updated the title of AWC's Legislative Advocacy Days to align with what the event is called now. Concerns? Wonderful. Section 26.2, this is regarding sanctions. We have a numbering update here, and I believe this is for ease of reference and readability.
Yes, it's actually no words are changed, just the sections, but previously I think it had somehow gotten squished together, and this clarifies that there's sanctions may or may not be applicable whether or not you go through the formal investigation process. So those two have been separated now.
So jumping to page 26 of the packet,
1 second. The 26.2, the sanctions. What's that in reference to, or is it just
Violations of the council rules.
Is that good, Peter?
yes?
right, moving forward, there is section 27.4F, and that's on page 26. And this is regarding council members' role in public records inquiries. Just stating, please tell us immediately, contact the city clerk's office immediately if you receive these requests. So just letting everyone know what to do and stating council members' responsibility with public records requests.
What does must respond immediately mean to council? As soon as they see it, as soon as they have capacity, like thinking about people's schedules, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Peter's in a meeting all day, doesn't see it, but comes back, so what does immediately mean?
So we're trying to align this with our requirements under state statute, and the city has 5 days to respond. When we get a records request, we have 5, and that's for us to respond back to the requester. So we do need some sort of response back when we asked you, pretty immediately, you know, what, 1 to 2 days, so that we can prepare then to respond to the requester. And if it's just I have to look and I'll get back to you in 24 hours, at least that tells us what we're looking at.
What if council, like, Councilmember Swarthout is gone right now? What if a request came in and she doesn't have her city cell phone out of state?
We would know if a council member is on vacation, and we would factor that into our response.
Does that make sense to everybody?
So is this calendar days or business days? It doesn't say anything.
It says immediately, so.
Well, yeah, immediately does not, state rules, we have, business days and calendar days. Immediately, I could be in ICU. And you don't expect me to respond immediately when I'm in ICU, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there should be some kind of, the state,
As quickly as practical.
the
We're
state has certain, calendar days of work. They have certain parameters with which you respond to, public records.
We're just trying to get responsiveness
Okay.
and some sort of commitment. So, you know, unless you are a chronic violator of this provision, I don't anticipate that it would be a problem.
Okay, all right.
But if you have a suggested change, then let us know.
The reason I ask, I don't want us to set a precedent by somebody saying, well, you said you respond immediately, and that was 4 days ago, and you have not responded. So now, the immediately means imminent now, and then you haven't done it in 4 days. So we've now put ourselves in a box where we said immediately, and we haven't made that particular.
You mean for council
Yes.
to respond immediately?
Yes.
Well, the expectation is to respond immediately for staff.
So can we then delegate to staff to respond immediately if we're unable to do that?
Yeah, this is about the initial response.
Okay.
So we would hope that you could at least contact us and say, I got this on vacation. I've seen this request.
Okay.
It's going to take me 3 days to look at my email. It's whatever it is. So we have the information that we can move forward with.
Does IT do the search of emails
They do.
and texts? And so what you really have to be aware of is if you have printed paper files or if you
Personal
have,
devices.
Personal device.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, and if we're not responsive, then that puts the city at a liability.
At risk.
For the liability.
Yeah, Peter, that's a great question, right? It's the in-between where staff are responding to this request and they gotta check in with council to make sure, do you have anything else beside what's in your email and your city cell? Do you have anything else, right?
Mhm.
So, great question, Peter. Does that make sense to everyone? Being responsive to staff to let them know if you need time to get anything else that staff don't already have access to? Okay, good discussion, good reminder.
Wonderful. And one more change. So this change is on page 33 of your packet. It's section 30.2, and it is updating the Zoom information in the online meeting platform and in the live stream section, and removing references to Cablecast and the local government access channel.
Yeah. Goodbye. Is our channel dead, because it's always black?
No, I believe they're still broadcasting the minimum hours required.
Okay, so whenever I'm happen to like look at it, it's just, it's not personal, got it, okay.
So I think this is the time that we would ask, do you have any sections that you would like to look at, or do you have any curiosities, questions?
Let's start with Peter and go around the room and then end virtually. Peter, what's on your mind?
Straightforward.
Right, Peter's gone through this before.
It's straightforward.
Thank you.
The changes.
Brendan Whedon.
I have no questions about the changes that are made. I think those are all pretty straightforward, make sense. I think as a whole group, I was reading over it, and really the only substantial stuff that I saw for us, or myself as a group, would be going number 28, the interpersonal behaviors. So
Section 28.
28, starting on page 26, is really what I gravitated towards the end.
That is where the meat is, for sure.
Did you want to expand on that, or do you want to hear from Megan, Joan, and Angela, and then we can go back to section 28?
Go ahead, you guys can talk, and then
All right, so we have some meat on section 28. We're gonna start with Joan Cathy, because Joan Cathy, how many iterations of these council rules have you gone through? Oh. You know what? Okay, wait,
Nope.
wait, wait.
Okay,
There she is.
all right.
Hey!
Did you asked me a question, like how many things I had?
What are your thoughts, but also how many iterations of council rules have you lived through?
Oh Lord, I could not keep track of that. I did find something in an old folder that shocked me, but we won't talk about that tonight. I have a question. Are these meetings that we're in right now, are they cable cast?
No,
No.
just on our YouTube channel.
Okay, but they do get out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do, Joan Cathy.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I had a question about that. I didn't. Someone asked me, and I'm going, I don't know. We always act nice and good, like we're on TV. So, okay. So I wanted to ask about that because it says in there that they're not. So, page 6. I want the 4.123 or something like that. It sounds redundant to me, and I'm not quite sure if we want to reword it in any way or if it's that important.
Which one, Joan?
Page 6, 4.12.
4.12.
oh, 112.
We made a
on page
correction.
7.
Oh, I see. The end of each formal meeting, every council.
Are you underneath council reports? Is that the one you're discussing, Joan?
On page 6?
7.
I think it's on our page 7, but which one is it? 4.112 council reports at the end of each formal meeting.
I'm not looking at it. I'm looking at my notes, and I wrote down 4.1, and then it's got a correction thing there, and then 2, 3.
Yeah, so you mean any other business, additional and future items sounds redundant?
Doesn't sound like what I looked at. Move on. It's not a big deal at all.
Oh, so I can explain that a little bit maybe. If it's that title, it's because during committee meetings, it's titled one way, and during your council meeting agenda, it's titled the other way.
Can we just,
Oh,
So that's why.
good catch, Joan.
Is
Okay.
there a reason why one is titled one way and the other is
Because
titled?
in our meetings, I don't ask you for additional agendas, but when you're chairing a
We
committee,
do.
you do ask.
Yep. Yep, that's fine.
Good catch, Joan.
thank you. I hope we're all looking at the right thing, same thing.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
So,
Sorry, I didn't have the other thing out. That's all for me. You know, the other things, if we get into a issue, we have, and we have previous, you know, work with those, so. I'm good.
All right, thank you, Joan. Angela, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, eh, I'm used to bottom line up front, so it's saying what it has to say. I just thought that it would be more when you're in public, you're representing the city, but this way is more diplomatic. I like make every attempt to avoid having elected officials, the mayor or city administrator, read about significant city issues, comments, etc. in the media first before being advised in person, by phone, or email. But I didn't see anything addressed about sometimes we might have to meet with, let's say, members of the school board. Um, so for something like that, do we need to let the mayor and city administrator know?
That's a no surprises.
Yes, that's a no surprises.
Letter D.
Tell us more, Angela, what are you don't want to tell us what you're doing, or you're going to tell us after the fact?
No. Just I've met with school board members from Lacey recently, and it looks like I should have told you and the city administrator, hey, I've met with the president of the school board of
For Lacey?
North Thurston School District.
Yeah.
So
This is great feedback, Angela. You all are independently elected. You can talk to anyone, whoever, whenever you want. It would be awesome if you have a scheduled 101, right? A summary, Angela, of like, hey, as you're serving as an ambassador for Tumwater, this is what you're hearing in other jurisdictions. This is what you're, so like, letting us know what you know so we can be better informed and help serve and support you better. But I'm never going to tell you who you can and cannot talk to, because you are all adults. But if you want to let us know, like, hey, this is what I'm hearing, we should check in with our school district, right? Like those kind of things. I think we would be always open to learning more and hearing what you know.
okay.
Does that make sense, Angela?
Yes, that makes sense.
You don't need permission from me to do what you're doing, right? Because you're doing what you're doing.
Okay, that makes sense. I'll just keep you more informed, because I've kind of been, behind the scenes, but I thought if it was just Tumwater, not what I'm doing. But understood, I understand. Just let you guys know, what's going on. Thanks.
Did you want to add something for Skilly and then Paul? I interrupted you.
Oh, no, I was just saying, if you're not meeting with North Thurston School Board on behalf of the city of Tumwater, then that's fine.
Well, and also, I'd love for you all to
Yeah.
meet with other jurisdictions
Yeah.
and other bodies as an elected, right? And tell me what you're hearing and seeing. So
And
both are true, right?
And it's great to have those relationships and foster those. Yeah.
Oh,
I was just gonna say, there's no need to check in with us as staff, but if there is ever a way that we can support you, if there's questions that we can answer ahead of time or follow up, we want to be a support to you.
yes.
So
Or if you're having a media inquiry, like, let us know. We have a communications department to help with media requests, right? Those kind of things, right?
I think some of us are a little sensitive about this because of over the years, some people, wanted to slap our hands or, bring it up. Well, you should have told, or, there's a little bit of history here, I think, is why Angela either, I don't think Angela gets fearful, but, just confused by something I should or shouldn't do. And working with everyone who's here now, you, mayor, and city administrator, and, attorney who knows a lot of history. We're in good hands, and I don't think we fear asking you or telling you or whatever. This is very clarifying, and thank you, Mayor, for reaffirming that we're elected adults out there doing the best we can for Tumwater and for the work that we've been asked to do. So it's good.
Thank you, Joan. Great question, Angela.
Yeah.
Megan?
Thank you. It's great to see these. I know that there was some conversation at the in-person retreat about frequency of review, and I know some time has passed since that time. And I am in support of what I've heard discussed so far, and I'm interested in hearing what Councilmember Whedon has to share about interpersonal Section 28.
Perfect.
Just noting the time, Brandon, it's 6:00.
No. I think everything basically made sense going back, like I said, to the changes that were made, clerical process that we went through. I just think that we all really should go ahead and spend some time on 28 and make sure that we are putting Tumwater's perspective and our own perspective in a good light when we're not only talking amongst ourselves, but also with the staff that are coming in front of us, and making sure that we are courteous and respectful, and just being aware of the fact that people are watching this, and it makes a difference when, if we do have criticism, that's fine. I'm not telling anybody how to vote, how to act, or anything else, but I do believe that it makes a difference about how we put ourselves out there, and what one of us does, the way in which we talk to anybody, it reflects on all of us. I've had discussions, and a lot of it's been via email. It's like, oh, hey, I don't fully understand this, so instead of waiting until we get up on the diocese or have, difficult questions or things that I don't understand, I've sent those out ahead of time. Not to say that that's right or wrong, it's just, I think there's a perspective that I would really appreciate us all really paying more attention to this in general, and I am guilty of it as well. So I think that it's just good for us all to go back through and really read 28 and make sure that that's something that we all agree on, and something that we should strive for at every one of our meetings, not even the recorded ones here, but even on our own personal time when we're going out in the public, because we are elected and we do represent all of Tumwater. So the way in which we talk to our staff and ourselves is important.
I don't exactly.
You muted
Muted
yourself.
herself in the middle.
So we heard, I don't exactly, and then
I don't exactly understand what you're saying. And I'm wondering if you could give an example of something that I could relate to or something. I mean, it's too vague.
Yeah, I mean, on our very last meeting, in the way in which Chuck was presenting to us, there was a perception that our fireworks show went on for 12 minutes, and it did not go on for 12 minutes. And it's one thing if we're hearing that from the public, but actually to follow through, get the expert advice, and the expert time is Chuck, so that we are not alienating our staff member, but also the point that that was provided as a contribution back to the city. That was nothing that the city paid for itself. That was a donation back to the city, and it was just, to me, it wasn't a good look when we were coming in and we're criticizing immediately. And I just want to make sure that when we're working with partners in our community, that we are being aware of that and not taking that for granted.
I will say, Joan, that when I was reading through these, I looked at Section 28 and found myself in violation of a few.
Oh, yeah.
And so I agree. Like, it's just something to be mindful of. Like, I know I've snuck a bite on the dais, and I'm sorry.
So,
How dare you?
so Brian, this is where that up. I have told myself that I wasn't going to engage
With Chuck?
with you specifically. So, in me as a person, I try to do unto others as I wish done unto me. So that means that I don't go out of my way to insult or to do anything that I do to somebody that I would expect done unto me. I asked Doug, the firework, are we responsible for the firework? He said, no, we're not. And I said, the firework was beautiful because America turned 250 years. It is not every day that America turns 250 years. So I'm saying, given the occasion, we could have done more. And I'm also saying what we did was just an ordinary 4th of July, which is not what that occasion was. So it was not a criticism of us not making fun. It's a criticism of saying we should have done something grand, and we didn't do that.
Do you see how that come across as critical and negative to the sponsors and staff?
Yes, if they were there, that's what I would have said, because I would want them to say that to me, because
Yep.
I took 4 teenagers to that firework. When we got on Capitol Boulevard, I said, well, you know what, there's just too many people. We're not going to go to the parking lot because we're not going to go gas. Let's go park on the other side of by the cemetery. We went there, too many people.
So you wanted 19 more minutes, and you weren't part of the planning.
Actually, I didn't know how many minutes, but one of the teenagers said, well, this is not 20 minutes, it's less than 20 minutes, and it's not spectacular. For me, I don't care. So,
Right. Peter, I don't take your comments
Yes.
personally because I feel like I've gotten to know you over the years. Do your comments piss me off sometimes? Yeah, like the first meeting when you told me to hold my horses.
Yeah.
Do I still respect you and adore you as a human being? Absolutely, all the time, and we can have these conversations. And it's really about word choice as well.
yeah,
So when you say
then he
pitiful,
said,
I'm not done. I'm not
Go
done.
ahead, go ahead.
You said pitiful, so
Yes.
just the word choice
Yes.
is something for us to consider, all of us.
Beautiful
As
not
we
to the
move-
city, but to the people
You
that say
can't
the
control
fireworks.
how people take your feedback, right? You could just give the feedback, but you can't control how someone takes it. This is what we're all talking about.
And then he said, and then he said, and then, wait one second.
I am running this meeting.
And then he
I'm
said, wait
still-
one second.
You do not tell me to hold, I run the meeting, Peter.
Go
Let me
ahead.
finish my comment, and then you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We're gonna recess for 5 minutes. We're gonna recess, or I'm gonna end the meeting right now. Which one what do you want? You wanna recess, or you wanna end the meeting? You don't get to talk over me. We're doing this respectfully.
I
You
am
don't
not
get to interrupt
talking
me.
over you, and I'm not being mad. I'm just trying to explain what he said. So you're thinking that I am being mad, or no? That's not what I'm doing. So again, people, pay attention. When I said it was pitiful, not because the city didn't do what it was supposed to do, it was because the people that staged the firework didn't do that. And he said, I don't know what he's talking about personally, but I didn't want to have an argument, so I just kind of just let it
But
go.
now you're arguing with me.
I'm not arguing with you. Now we're done. I'm not arguing with you.
You're not gonna deal with me?
I said,
You said it was not.
you see?
But
So we can have this conversation.
Yes, if only you guys will listen carefully to what
Careful.
Peter is saying,
Careful.
then we won't have this kind of discussion. Because I'm not,
You have to take some accountability. It is not all on us, Peter. We are in this together.
I
We
just
don't
told you what I said.
You
I just told you
please
what I said, and I
listen
didn't
to
take that back. So this is what I said.
you did, and I hear what you're saying, and I understand. I think what other people are trying to get you to see is how that might come across. If I don't know what Peter's meaning, I don't know what he means by that, and I just hear pitiful, and I run because some people do take words and just run with it, right?
Okay,
Yeah, I did that, Peter, when you said that.
okay.
And they get defensive because they know how much work that the staff did and also how expensive it is to put on that show. It's a $35,000 donation. So could it have been different? Maybe, but the whole thing is that's a donation to the city and all the work, and everybody spent time at the fireworks show working instead of enjoying the fireworks like you got to and I got to with my family.
Okay, let's move on.
Well, I think that's what we're here for, though, Peter, too, right? Because I reacted to your comment because ultimately I heard the words that you said and it was pitiful. And to be honest, I'm like, wait a minute, we have this community partnership here. I didn't want that to be in any kind of jeopardy. And at the same point, I wanted it to be clear that not all of us felt that way towards Chuck's presentation and everything, especially We're giving him a proclamation for the work that he
I
did.
didn't say job position was pitiful. See, you guys are conflating two things here. I said the firework that was put together by the people that put together was pitiful. I didn't say the city of Tumwater and Chuck was pitiful. You guys are loving two things
That's
together.
the way that I perceived your comment. And that might not have been the way that you intended it or anything else.
I asked Chuck, I said, is Tumwater responsible for the fire? We said no. I made that declaration up front to ask that question. But because you guys wanted to hear what people,
Right, Peter, I get it. So here's the larger issue for all of us, and Megan, I see your hand up. When it's the time and the place, right? And no one in this room needs to learn that continuously more than myself, right? So when we were doing a proclamation showcasing the month of Parks and Rec, Peter, was that the best time on the dais to share a complaint when we are celebrating Parks and Rec? That's my larger issue, is the time and place of criticism. Did you need to do it as a proclamation for Parks and Rec? Right? When I say Peter, that's all of us, right? The time and place. That's just something to consider, Peter, right? Valid, you shared it, thank you. Chuck didn't take it personally. We have some council members who did take it personally, and that's why we're having this conversation. Time and place.
I turned around and I said to Chuck right there, I said, Chuck, this is not against you. But see,
You said at the end of the meeting,
yes,
not on the dais.
well, after
After
this,
when
after
we can
this,
hear
I'm taking the
you.
picture. So you guys are just making up stuff that is not there.
I don't think I was making up anything. That's how I received your comment.
So that is
And I'm
your
not saying-
opinion. That is
Right.
your opinion.
But it's a valid opinion though, correct? For me to
So
have
you
that
is.
opinion, by the way.
So you is.
Right.
So you is.
So all I'm saying is.
You are not, so you and I were not engaged in any discussion. So your opinion, my opinion. So that's beside the point.
But it all goes back to this, and how our interpersonal relationships are gonna work in it. Sorry, Megan,
You don't apologize.
well, she's been handling it
Okay,
for a while.
reminder, I'm serving as the mayor and I get to facilitate the meeting. Okay, so you can finish this.
Yeah.
Peter's ready to move on. You can do your comment and then I will go to Megan. So how about you all let me facilitate the meeting?
I'm good?
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a robust dialogue. I appreciate, and I'm looking to like pull threads here and kind of weave together what I'm hearing and share a little bit about my experience. I do want to own that I also felt triggered last week when I heard those comments about the firework show, and the concern that I had was the unintended optics of perhaps not feeling gratitude or representing gratitude as a city for the donated fireworks donated by Red Wind, which is one of the economic development arms of one of our sovereign nation tribal neighbors. And I think it is not lost on me that while celebrating 250 years of America is really important to a lot of folks, there is grief from Native nations about the history in this land. So that was some of the immediate thoughts that went through my mind in that moment. And I do want Tumwater to be a place, and this body to be a place where we can disagree with respect. And one of the ways I try to be a good steward of that, and all of us, as people have said, they're reading these rules, there are things that I can do better and differently. And one thing that I try to bring is curiosity. And I would love for all of us I would invite you all to join me in trying to be more curious about how we can present the most welcoming face of Tumwater that we possibly can. And I think all of us are a face of Tumwater and a voice of Tumwater. And we don't all have to speak in one voice. That would be boring, and I don't want that. But I do want all of us to try to speak as thoughtfully and respectfully. And I don't want to tone police anyone. And I want to have this be a time when we can reflect on, does the contents of interpersonal behavior, Section 28, reflect what we have been doing, or is it aspirational what we want to do? Does it need to be like rewritten in a large way? And I think that's kind of the issue at hand. And this was a moment that we got to debrief some things that were frustrating and challenging. And I do hope that this both helps us clarify rules, but also helps us, work better together, all of us.
Thank you, and this is a good point. Peter's gone through this a couple versions, right? Joan stopped counting, Eileen over a decade, myself 8 years, right? And we all have examples of this. We all have examples where I could be better and I continue to strive to be better, right? That's why we're having this conversation. We all have examples of this, and we all have certain attachments or connections to this in a certain way, right? And Peter made it, it's all there, right? It's having these, what we're really connected to, what we personally want to work on or want to work on with each other. It's the whole point of this, right? So it's okay. So there's nothing, any like substantive challenges, we have challenges, changes. The tour guides are going to continue, right? This is the first look at this, and we'll bring it back with the final, with the red line so you can still see. Does that work for everyone? Peter, Kelly, Brandon, Megan, Angela, Joan, good with getting the version back with what we talked about today?
So look forward before you adjourn. 29.4, council members should not post city business. They should not comment about city business, social media. And when we clarify like what city business is this like promotion? Like we just promoted through the parks our concert series, and somebody was asking about a time, and I admitted I posted and said, oh, it starts at this time and goes to this time.
Let's leave that to our city attorney with public disclosure and Open Public Meetings Act.
Right, so at the time this was drafted, it was intended to comply with our citywide social media policies. And I think it's still consistent, as well as with case law, the concern being that correctly, if you're doing these things on your personal social media, that you are opening it up to public records. And
which would be if something came up and you had it on your social media page, you'd have to gather that and give it to staff. That would be the example, like when Peter's asking what does the media look like. If you're doing city work on your social media page, that's what you'd have to go get those screenshots and give it to staff.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Peter does not have social media, neither does Joan Cathy. It streamlines all their efforts and work. They have a healthier work-life balance because they're not on social media.
And Brandon, are you asking more about like the Parks Department is doing something and you just share the post?
Correct.
That's
That's
okay.
Okay.
public information. If
Okay.
you're answering, like
Yeah.
the mayor's page, I'm going in and saying, here's this, I'm answering, but that's all backed up and staff have access to all of that.
Right. Okay.
They don't have access to your personal stuff.
But you can share about.
You share what's already publicly available.
Yep.
Correct. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and
Good question.
if you have questions that come up along the way, you can reach out to me, you can reach out to Jason. And
hardly on social media, so.
And then if you do think that there are changes that are warranted, let us know, please.
Right, this is a living document, and this is your document. So if things are working well, not working well, then you ask for it to be updated, and we update it, because this is yours.
So, do you want this back again for discussion, or do you want us to put this in resolution form and take it to council for approval?
Are you all ready for it to go to approval?
Yes.
Peter says yes, Angela says yes, Megan says yes, Kelly says yes, Brandon says yes. Joan is nodding her head yes, and a thumbs up. Yes. Thank you all. All right, Mayor, City Administrator's report. I want to go home. That's my report. Anything else for the good of the order? My piece?
I just
Before
like,
we go, to put a conclusion to what we just said, right? I am the last person in this world that will do unto somebody that I don't want done unto me. And I take that, I mean that sincerely. But what I don't, or what I would not do is to be truthful to you just because you're going to take it the wrong way. That is who I am. I'm not going to change that. When I said pitiful, that's just the way it was because of the occasion that we were celebrating. I don't know any other way to say that. I didn't say to say someone that did a bad job. I'm just saying the people that put on the fireworks should have looked at the occasion and said, you know what, this needs to be spectacular. Let's honor the occasion. That's what I'm saying. So in essence, you and I are both speaking from the same page, but we're saying that you should have been more. But you're saying what we have was good. I'm saying you should have been more. So essentially, we're on the same page, more or less, or the same. So anyway.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you. Joan?
I just think it's important for us to kind of take off on some things that Megan said overall. This is just kind of an overall statement. And you will recognize it, Mayor, because like you say, we've been here before. We all have different personalities. We all view the same thing in maybe in a different way, maybe in the same way. It has to do with our life experiences, the whole thing. This kind of thing goes way back for us that we don't, realize. And I hear what Peter's saying. I believe that he would not do, that he wants to do unto others that he would have them do unto him. I do believe that. And how language could get, you don't hear the right words. We have to be conscious of each one of us as different people. Angela's spent a lot of time in the military. Nobody in my family's ever been in the military. I had to learn how to relate to people in the military and learn how to salute because I had a church full of people who had been in the military. And for fun, they taught me how to do that. So, but what I'm trying to say here is I don't always agree with everything, but I honor the person and try to understand where they're coming from. And if it's do no harm to us as a council, some things just let it go. Other things, speak up. But remember, we're all different. We're all different. And we're trying to do a big, wonderful thing all together. And our language is important. And I feel like most of us do a good job. And I've gotten upset a few times over the last couple decades. And guess what, Leetta? I've had to circle back. I've had to circle back and talk to the person, be it Peter or you over the years or something. We've had some misunderstandings, and I want us just to recognize that as we move forward and learn to love one another despite it all. Or because of it all.
Well said, Joan. Thank you for circling back on that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joan. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate you all. Meeting adjourned at 6:49.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you.